The number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is... Please note, the new number is...
1-800-EAT-MANNA. Hello. You're live on The Michael Tobin Show. Thank you for calling. What is your question?
Hi. Does the Bible teach socialism?
Well, I'm glad you asked. It just so happens that I have a good old classic clip from D. James Kennedy's show, Truths That Transform. So tune in as he answers your question. Alright, thank you for joining me again for the Michael Tobin Show, folks. This is the episode, Does the Bible Teach Socialism? Listen to this timeless clip from Dr. D. James Kennedy's broadcast, Truths That Transform, to find out. I remember listening to this broadcast many times after I aired it as a radio DJ between 1989 and 1994. I still have many of his cassettes I had saved, and someday will have them all transferred to computer files, as I already have a couple with my tape-to-PC device. So I've got all the physical means to create top-notch podcasts, but money and time constraint is the challenge, and soon, with God's help, I will be doing shows full-time with his provision from anywhere in the United States or world mission field. I hope you enjoy my lineup, and they will all likely be a history of my early beginnings and something to smile about in comparison to when I actually have professional CD media quality productions. Typically, I will be doing interviews or running the whole show on my podcast, but on rare occasions such as this, I will have a classic clip. So God bless you, and thank you for subscribing to my blog, my Spreaker account, and my YouTube account, which I have the link to, and any support you feel led to give. So now, here is Dr. D. James Kennedy from, I'm guessing, about 1992, as he answers, does the Bible teach socialism?
And does the Bible teach socialism? Now, whenever you hear people make that claim, they invariably will appeal to one passage, and that is the passage from Acts, the 4th and 5th chapter, dealing with Ananias and Barnabas. Barnabas, you recall, sold a piece of land and brought and gave it to the apostles, and then Ananias and his wife sold a piece of land, emulating them, but kept back part of the price and brought only a portion of it and lied about it. But they say that this passage contains within it all of the basic principles of socialism. Well, I would like to submit to you as a thesis this morning that not only does this passage not teach the principles of socialism, but that it countermands all of the various the basic fundamental tenets of socialism, and is an unparalleled broadside against the socialist ship of state. I do not see how one could have a more explicit repudiation of socialism than that is found in this very passage. So we will go right to the citadel of that passage which the proponents of socialism claim to have found in the Bible, which teaches socialism, to see if indeed it does, or if it teaches, as I propose, the very opposite of socialism, its antithesis. Well, the basic concept of socialism is either that the state owns or controls property or the means of production. That is, that socialism basically denies the concept of private property. Well, what does the Bible say? In the Decalogue alone, the 10 Commandments, I think we have the repudiation of this. The commandment, thou shalt not steal, as virtually every theologian for 20 centuries has declared, is a divine guarantee of private property. I cannot steal something from you if you do not own it. Furthermore, in the Decalogue, we even have a command that thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house or anything that is thy neighbor's. Again, a clear teaching of private property. But let's come to this passage that we have before us. Is private property repudiated, or is it taught? Notice what Peter said to Ananias. While this property remained, this land remained, was it not thine own? It is difficult for me to imagine any clearer statement of the ownership of property than that. While it remained, before you sold it, was it not your own? Did you not own it? Could you not do with it whatever you will? And even after you sold it, was not the money your own? So we see that the Bible clearly teaches the right of private property, because God has given the whole world unto mankind as a stewardship, which is his to use and for which he is responsible to God. Secondly, we note that this action was voluntary. They didn't have to sell their property. There was no commandment to sell their property. There was no commandment to give the funds away. It was voluntarism. Now, I cannot imagine anything that militates more strongly against modern concepts of socialism than voluntarism. I have not the slightest objection to any group of people anywhere who want to get together and voluntarily engage in any form of socialism that they care to do. It is the fact of enforcement. It is the fact of coercion that lies at the very heart of every socialistic scheme in modern centuries. Thirdly, and I don't know which of these principles indeed militates more mightily against modern concepts of socialism. The money, they sold the property, and they brought the money and they laid it at the feet of Pontius Pilate. Is that correct? They laid it at the feet of Caesar. Is that correct? They brought it to the local tax collector. No, what does it say? It says it a number of times. They laid it at the apostles' feet. Now, I can think of nothing more perfectly designed to give Karl Marx apoplexy than the idea that people should sell all of their property and bring the money and give it to the church. If there is anything which is antithetical to the whole spirit of modern socialism, it is precisely that. And yet people have the incredible temerity to say that this passage teaches modern state socialism. Nothing indeed could be farther from the truth than that. No, the Bible does not teach socialism, and the adverse effects of it in the long haul are incalculable. What the Bible teaches is freedom and responsibility and work. And we are jettisoning all of these in the socialistic state. And the spiritual effects will be the worst in the end.
That was a classic clip as played on the radio way back in the day of Dr. D. James Kennedy. Does the Bible teach socialism? So there you have it. I don't think anybody could have ever explained it as well as that in 6 minutes. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. Go ahead and download this episode. Check out my whole lineup. In the section where it says episodes, just click on it. You can see everything that's available currently. And as I use up my minimum of 5 hours of broadcasts, as it gets close to the 5 hours, I end up downloading them to my computer for file. And if you just request something that you've seen here before, just go ahead and request it in one of the messages of the shows. Or contact me with the information that I give down below. So again, thank you for joining me for the Michael Tobin Show. God bless you, and stay tuned for the next episode, whenever that may be.